Okay, welcome to the show. I'm Jim Lettuce. I'm very angry. This is a rant video about the Penguin show, mostly about the finale, but I do complain about the rest of the show as well. There will be spoilers. I was trying to plan this out, but it was kind of a pain to make like a hotkey for all these pictures, so I'm just gonna click on them and then talk about it. I'm so mad, okay? Listen, this show, okay, I want people to know that I really liked the show. This isn't like a complete video of me just totally crapping on the show, but like, because I liked it. That's the thing. I liked the first few episodes. This show could have been the greatest show in a while, and they just ruined it. I wanted it to be this like gangster show, like like Scarface. And what we got was this lame drama about this dude and his mom. Like, yo, since when is the Penguin a mama's boy? Like, and I'm not making that as like a figure of speech. This dude is like cuddling with his mom. He's like 40. And it's like, yeah, she's like sickly, right? But then there's like another part where he's like, I lost it. There's another part where he's like dancing with her, and it's just, I don't know, he's like way too close with his mom, and it's really weird. And after a while, like the whole show, he's like, my mother, you gotta save my mother. And it's like, what is this? The Penguin is supposed to be like a gangster, right? The whole thing with Colin Farrell was that he's doing like the mafia, the New York gangster voice, but he did it so good. They were like, oh, we'll have a show. And man, I was so hyped for the show. But like, I thought his origin story was that he was born in a rich family. But when they looked at him, he's all ugly and he looked like a penguin. He looked like a penguin. He had like fish hands. And then they threw him in the sewer or something, right? And then he became the Penguin, like, that wears the suits and shoots the guns. And it's like, did he have like a show business background maybe? Because there was a newer Batman where Penguin was like a lounge singer. And it's like, that sounds vaguely familiar maybe. But the point is, like, when was Penguin ever a mama's boy? Like, he's like, his mom kind of like hypes him up, and she's like, yeah, you're a gangster, but she's also like really mean to him. And then like we get flashbacks, so it goes back to the origin. Like, his mom is this like big deal in the show. Like, at one point, like, she like gets kidnapped. Oh my god, it's so dumb. And basically, so we get a flashback at one point and you figure out that the Penguin had brothers. I also don't know if he had siblings or not. I guess we can look it up here in a minute. But apparently he had brothers, and they lived with their mom in this like old apartment, and they were like poor, and it seemed like the 50s, even though I think this show is set in like present-ish day. But then again, it's like Gotham, so I don't know what the timeline is like there. But like, so alright, so here comes the spoilers. If you haven't been prepared yet, these are big spoilers, okay? So you find out how because like there's a picture of his brothers, and then it's on the shelf, and you find out in this flashback that he killed his brothers. It's so crazy. It's like Stand By Me or something. So his brothers kind of pick on him because he's got like a messed up leg, because he's the Penguin. So in this show, he doesn't even look like a penguin. He's just like fat and ugly, and he's got a peg leg basically, and it's like crooked. And at one point he takes his shoe off, and it's all nasty, and it like hurts when he walks on it. It gives him the limp, so he kind of waddles like a penguin. I actually like that part of the show. But so the older brothers kind of pick on the Penguin, and then they all go sneak into like this like sewer system place. You know how kids do. I literally did that with my friends. We found a way to get into the sewer, like in our neighborhood, and we were like running around the tunnels, like, oh my gosh. Good times. But what happens is they play hide and seek. And then I should really have a picture up while I'm talking. Here's the Penguin. This is what we thought it was gonna be, right? Like I thought it was gonna be the Penguin. We're gonna see him like Scarface, become this badass, but instead it's like this trauma reveal where, so his brothers are like, they're playing hide and seek, and they say, oh, you got to look for his Penguin, but then they hide in this place like that's at the bottom of a ladder, and obviously the is that him? I'm trying to find a picture of young Penguin. There's the mom. Believe it or her. But like okay, so they're like, aha, you got to tag us or you lose, and so Penguin gets mad and like shuts the door on them at the top of the ladder. So they're like stuck in this like part of the sewer, and it locks, and he just like walks away, and he probably, he's a kid, he probably thought they'd be able to get out. It rains and floods, and they can't get out. They literally die. The kid comes home to the mom and tells her, like, she's like, where are your brothers? And he's like, oh, they ditched me to see a movie or something. And the kids never show, and like low-key the mom knew, and at the end of the season they have a big like fight about it. Where's this part? Here's him. He's like way too close to the mom. It's weird. And like it could have been cool if she's like, like the kingpin controlling him, like telling him what the ropes are, and then maybe have her die or something, and then that makes him become like the real Penguin or something. No, it's not like that at all. He's like crying about her the whole fucking show. It's so stupid, okay? Now, the best part of the show is Vic. Let's talk about Vic for a while. Man, I'm so butthurt, okay? Here is Vic. This Vic is like some young kid that he meets. Okay, so if you haven't seen the Batman, the Robert Pattinson one, basically at the end of that movie, they blow up the dam. The bad guy blows up the dam, and it like floods the town. So like a bunch of people died, and it's like his family got killed in that. So he's like this kid on the street. And like the timeline is, it's been what, like 6 months or something? Less than a year. And he's like on the street, trying to like steal hubcaps and stuff. And Penguin catches him and a bunch of kids stealing his hubcaps. And he like shoots at him. And basically he like runs up and grabs Vic. And, short for Victor. And he can't get away. And Victor has a stutter, which is a great character tick for him. It really humanizes him, and he basically takes Vic under his wing, and he's like, you're my driver, because he's like a gangster, right? He's like, you're going to be my driver. And so he drives him around, and they build up this whole thing with Vic, where he's like slowly learning the ropes of like being a gangster, and like, and it's so good. This is the best part of the show, where they butt heads because he's like a dumb kid and he screws up and he doesn't really know how to be like a gangster yet. And then the Penguin also treats him like a little brother or a son, and he like protects him and he helps him when he's in trouble and stuff like that. Like at one point Vic like murders this like gangster dude that was bullying him, and then Penguin is like super sympathetic, and because like Vic ditched him on a job to do it. And Penguin is like super sympathetic, and he's like, oh man, like, let me make sure you burn your clothes and everything. And like, he like makes sure that it's like, that he's okay, right? And this is the best part of the show. This is the bromance that we wanted. Like, they start becoming more and more friendly. They become family, where Vic is like the only one that the Penguin can trust. And I'm so mad. What happens is they build up this whole relationship where I'm thinking, okay, Penguin, he's going to become like the badass mafia gangster that we picture in our heads when we first saw him in Batman. And Vic is going to become this like cool, collected, like killer, like right-hand man. Like there's a scene later when they get the villain. We'll talk about the villain here in a minute. But there's a scene where they get the villain, and Vic, like, he's like, get on the ground, and like puts his gun in her face, and like, oh man, it could have been so good. So here's a big spoiler, okay? What happens is at the end, they defeat the bad guy, and I think okay, his mom ends up having a stroke, so she's like a vegetable, and then the Penguin finishes defeating the bad guy after all the smoke is cleared, and he's in the hospital with Vic, looking at the mom in bed. She's a vegetable, and he's like, "Hey Ma, how you doing, Ma? It's me, Oswald," and she doesn't say anything, and the nurse is like, "Sir, she's in a vegetative state. She had a stroke. She's paralyzed." All this, and the Penguin like breaks down, and I gotta say, the makeup is good. Well, when it's in darkness, it looks good. When it's in light, it looks terrible. But like the makeup is good. Colin Farrell is a world-class actor. Even in all that makeup, he has the scene where he breaks down, and it's really good. And then Vic like comforts him, and it has this shot where like Vic is standing over him with his arm on his shoulder, and it's like, this is your show, man. This is it. And guess what happens? They go to the park after that, and they're sitting on the bench at night, and Penguin's like, "Yeah, you've really seen all sides of me. You're the closest to me, Vic. You're like family." And Vic is like, "Yeah." And he puts his arm around Vic, and then he slowly moves his arm closer, and he starts choking Vic. And Vic is like, "What are you doing?" And he kills him. He fucking killed Vic. The guy who stutters, who like he took under his wing, he fucking killed him at the end. The only character that humanizes Penguin, makes us root for him as a hero, even if he's an anti-hero. Oh man, I'm so butthurt about this. Okay, so, alright, before we go into the bad guy, the only redeeming quality is Kid Penguin. I think I have one picture of him. Okay, here's him when he's the son, like, I guess after he murdered, even before he killed his brothers, like, she really, like, took care of him too much because he has the handicap. And it's like, I get that, but after a while it becomes this, like, toxic thing where she's like, "You gotta take care of me, blah, blah, blah." And there's this whole plot where she was gonna try to have him killed, and it's so dumb. Okay, but where's the other one? The best part, this is the redeeming quality of this show, okay? Kid Penguin is hilarious. He's like this 11-year-old kid, and he's talking like a New York gangster. He's like talking to his mom. He's like, "Don't worry, Ma. I'm going to take care of yous. I'm going to make it on the streets." It's the funniest thing. Like, they need a whole show where Kid Penguin is just like doing gangster stuff. That was the funniest thing. Like, I laughed out loud every time he delivered his lines. It was hilarious. Okay, now we're going to talk about the villain, Sophia. Her name in the show is Sophia Falcone. Okay, so if you don't know who the heck this person is, first of all, I'm pretty sure she's the girl from Wolf of Wall Street. Like, remember how he was banging the Australian girl, what's her face? But remember he had a wife, and there's like a whole scene where his wife sees him and she's like slapping him and stuff like that. Anyways, I think that's one of her claims to fame. She's been in some shows and movies. She was in The Sopranos at one point. Anyways, so in the Batman movie, Falcone is like the big gangster. Penguin's not the top dog yet. Penguin's like a lower dude, right? He works with the top dog. He's got an office at the club or whatever. He like runs clubs, but he's not the big boss. And Batman put Falcone, or no, he almost arrested him, but I think the Riddler shot him. And the point is, she is the son of Falcone. And the backstory is that the Penguin started out as a driver for Falcone, because that's how they do it in the Mafia. They make you drive them. And the Penguin was her driver. He was assigned to drive the daughter of the big mob boss, Falcone. And this is like 10 years ago or 20 or something. Maybe more like 10. But anyways, and she was like younger. She was like 20, right? And what happens is she, like an idiot, starts talking to a reporter. Like an idiot. Like, your dad's literally the mafia boss. And it's like she knows he's the mafia boss. It's not like she didn't know. And when she gets in the car after talking, because remember, he's the driver, he watched her do it. She gets back in the car after having her secret meeting with a reporter who literally wants to do a story on her mafia dad. Like, oh my gosh. And so the Penguin, he's just Oswald at this point. And she's like, she sits in there and he's like, what are you doing? That's a reporter. Your dad's the mafia. You can't do that. And she's like, shut up. I don't pay you to think. You know, just telling him off. Saying I'm better than you or whatever. And so, of course, he doesn't want to get his hands cut off or something. You know, for snitching. You know, snitches get stitches, especially with organized crime. And he tells Falcone. And I guess he thought Falcone would, like, get mad at her for a while or send her to boarding school or something. What he does is he freaks out and he kills her mom. Either that or he makes her mom hang herself with manipulation. Either way, it's mostly his fault, right? And she finds her mom hanging from the ceiling. Or no, maybe that's when she was a kid. I think he killed her mom when she was a kid. Anyways, he meets her in the office. So she meets her dad, Falcone, the big mob boss, the guy who Batman got killed in the movie, right? She's like, but Dad, the reporter just wanted to talk. And he's like, do you understand that I'm a mafia guy? And she doesn't listen. So what he does is he has her committed. And there's like a serial killer hanging people. And he basically says she's the killer. And so they put her in Arkham, the insane asylum where the Joker is. And they put her in Arkham. And there's all this like horrible scenes where she's like getting just attacked and treated like crap. And they make her fight to the death with this like other prisoner and stuff like that. And it's like really messed up. And they're giving her like chemicals and like sedating her and all this crazy torture. You know what I mean? And rightfully so. She goes a bit crazy. And my main complaint is not her or the actress. She's great. She's hot. She's a really good actress. She could carry a show. The problem is, this is not her show. But they started making it become her show. I thought this show was called The Fucking Penguin. But after a while, the whole show is just her doing stuff. It's her in the insane asylum. It's her talking to her mafia family. And it's like it's like a big show. It's an ensemble cast. She's not a nobody. She's the second lead of a show for a reason. So it's not that she sucks. It's like the layout of the show. Like, why are most of the episodes her doing a bunch of bullshit? I want to see the Penguin do gangster stuff. And at one point, they work together, and then she finds out the Penguin was trying to double cross her and steal her mushroom drugs that she got from Arkham, and they have some good back and forth gangster stuff where there's like a bomb in a car, and that stuff was great. But most of the damn show was her like dealing with her trauma of going to Arkham, and it's like, listen, I get it, you know, you got to deal with that. But it's the show about the Penguin. I thought it was gangsters, not about some girl whose dad got her committed because she was dumb enough to try to report it and talk about her family. Like, it's not like she was like some 15-year-old kid who didn't understand. She was like 25 when they lock her up. And she like, do you not understand? Like, she knew they were gangsters. Like, there's a line or two where she said, like, she knows what her family does. And it's like, how dense can you be? And it's like, why is this character most of the show? This is so dumb. I'm so mad. Like, my main complaint is that, like, they killed Vic. Like, Vic is the best character. Like, you ruined it by killing Vic. Here's another one. Like, when he's in daylight, the makeup doesn't look good. But, like, I'm so mad. It could have been so good. And they fucked it all up. Here's another one with Vic and the Penguin. What? I don't know. Just open it. Like, you see this show, like, it was gritty. He's showing him the ropes. Like, man, this is your show. Who was in charge of it? Apparently it did good. So I guess I'm the outlier. Am I the only one that, like, was just so butthurt how the show made him this, like, mama's boy like who's crying about his mom the whole time, but then most of the time it's like the other character who I guess we're supposed to sympathize with, but later on she murders all of her family at like a mafia meeting. We're talking about what's her name, Falcone. Like, cause she's so mad. Like, there's this whole scene where she's like, actually, my family hates me, and I'm a gigante, because like she's taking her mother's name or something because her dad killed her mom, I guess. And like she poison gases all of her extended family because they have like a big mafia meeting because they're trying to decide what to do about the Penguin, I guess. Well, the Penguin's not really on their radar. The Penguin's on her radar, but it's like, it's just so, oh man, I'm just so frustrated that like it could have been so good. And oh yeah, what I was saying is that like she committed they call it the sin of Moses, and there's this screenwriting book, and it's been talked about in other like storytelling type techniques where it's like you want someone to root for your hero. They can't be completely evil. They have to have at least a tiny glimmer of something that you like about him. For example, the Penguin, it was Vic. Vic was able to bring out his kinder side because his mom kind of did, but the thing with his mom was this weird mama's boy manipulator, like psycho thing. Like that famous movie Psycho, the mom like was manipulating the killer dude, and he was like a weird mama's boy. And it's like they just what she does is she commits the sin of Moses by murdering the extended family, and it's like, who cares about the mafia family? What happens is her like cousins are there, and then her baby I guess like the daughter of her cousin. So what is that, like your second cousin or something? She is she like takes the, because it's like a kid. She's like 12. She takes the kid and says, "Oh, let's have a sleepover in the greenhouse. It'll be fun." And it's a dumb kid. She's like, "Yeah, okay." Because she's like a lonely kid playing with her toys while the adults have some meeting in a room. She doesn't know what's going on, right? And she puts a gas mask on the kid and her when they're sleeping, and then gases the whole house and kills all the other mafia people. So now she's like the leader of the Falcone family, right? And it's like, how can we root for her if she killed this little kid's parents? And it's like, yeah, but they were evil mafia people. It gets worse, okay? The little kid gets put in the foster system, and we all know the foster system, bad things happen to kids in those kind of things, and in real life, and I'm pretty sure it is implied that it's going to happen here, because she finds out the kid's going to get sent to the system, and she starts getting worried, and she's like, oh, I'm going to help this kid. But then the kid mentions, like, oh, why did we have gas mask? And that's a loose end for her murder, right? She was under investigation. They suspected her, obviously. So then she starts gaslighting this poor 11-year-old kid. It's like, this is a horrible, evil person. If she's a villain, great villain. Perfect villain. Not the star of the damn show. The star is the Penguin. So my main beef with this show is that they killed off Victor at the end. Why would you build up that whole relationship and just kill him off like that? Especially the way he did it. Like, have a rift come between them. Maybe they butt heads more when like season 2, like in a time skip, and like they butt heads and they end up in a fight, like a gunfight gangster style, and he kills Vic that way, and he has like remorse. That would have been great season 2 or 3 material. But no, we're just going to kill off the best damn character in this fucking show. I'm so mad. And then we're going to promote the other character who, like, seriously, like, there's a lot of scenes in the show where it's just the other character, like, getting her revenge on people. Falcone, it's like, great, get your revenge, but, like, Jesus, have, like, they could have set up a lot of stuff and then have a spin-off show. Sure, I'd watch a show with her. But you can't do that in season 1 of The Penguin. God, I'm so mad. They ruined this show. I'm so mad that I'm canceling my Max subscription. Anyways, I'm mad. This is Jim Lettuce. Alright, we'll leave it on a picture. Hold on. Let this burn this into your mind. This is the modern Penguin. Look what they did to my boy. Look what they did to Colin Farrell's portrayal of a comic book character that could have been so fucking cool. Anyways, I'm Jim Lettuce. I'm mad. The Penguin show sucked, especially the finale. And whatever. Bye.